Predators don't fear weakness. They fear mistakes. And every killer in the academy agreed on one thing. The human was the real threat. You know what nobody tells you about attending the Galactic Combat Academy? It is not the curriculum that will kill you. It is not even the sparring sessions, though those come close. No, the real danger is forgetting your place in the food chain. Let me explain something. I am Coffin Trace, a Takuri from the hunting moons of Septus Prime. We have dot talons that can punch through starship hull plating, reflex clocked at 0.03 seconds, and a bite force that registers somewhere between terrifying and absolutely catastrophic. Back home, I was the thing that made other things run fast. Here at the academy, I am solidly middle of the pack. The cafeteria seating arrangement tells you everything you need to know about the pecking order, and I do mean that literally. Front tables belong to the apex crowd, the crux with their acid spit and unarmored hides, the Vaughn, those 8-foot-tall nightmares with forearms and moral toxins, the Shrike clan delegates who can see in 17 different spectrums and have never, not once, lost a practice duel. Middle tables, that is where I sit. Respectable predators, dangerous enough to warn caution, not dangerous enough to challenge the top tier. We've got the wealthier pack hunters, a cup full of Zorn shock troopers, some McCurry stealth specialists. Good company, lethal company, just not the absolute best. Back tables are for prey species who qualified on technical scores, navigation experts, engineering prodigies, tactical analysts. They are brilliant, do not get me wrong, but they flip eck when a Curlix Alex walks past. And everyone knows it. Then there's her, H. Hult, the human. Species classification unknown to most of us until about 6 weeks ago when she showed up. She sits in the back row, far corner, always alone. Does not sit with the prey species, does not sit with anyone, just takes the same seat every single day, eats her ration pack, and watches. And here's the thing that has been crawling under my C-scale since orientation. Every predator in this room tracks her first. Not the Curlix champion who broke the academy grappling record, not the Vaughn tactical officer who has 16 confirmed kills. Her, the quiet one in the back who has not said 10 words since she arrived. I noticed during my second week. I walked into the cafeteria, did my automatic threat assessment like every predator does, and my eyes went straight to her table. Not consciously. Instinct. The same instinct that kept my ancestors alive when saber cats prowled the red forests, watched the dangerous one first. Except she does not look dangerous. She is small by academy standards, maybe 5'7" in her combat boots, lean build, not heavily muscled like the Zarin or armored like the Crux, brown hair pulled back in a simple tuck. Her species has forward-facing eyes, sure, binocular vision like a predator, but so what? Lots of species have that. She has no claws, no fangs, no venom glands or acid spit, neurotoxins, no armored hide or exoskeleton. Her species does not even have a proper coat for the love of all the hunting moons. They were fabricated coverings because their own skin cannot handle temperature variation. So why, and I mean why, does every killing machine in this facility track her movements like she's the apex threat? Vex Kalos, a Curlix in my tactical analysis class, brought it up last week. We were running combat simulations and the instructor had us identify primary threats in a crowd scenario. Vex, who has never been wrong about threat assessment, flagged the human first. The instructor challenged him. "Explain your reasoning, cadet." Callous Vex clicked his mandibles in a nervous tell I had never seen from him before. "Cannot, sir. Instinct says she is dangerous. Logic says she is not. Instinct wins." Half the class nodded. The other half, mostly prey species, looked confused. I've been trying to logic it out for weeks now. Observation tells me she's careful, controlled, always aware of her surroundings. She doesn't startle, ever. Dropped a tray 3 tables over last Tuesday, loud metallic crash that made half the room jump. She just glanced over, assessed it was not a threat, and went back to her meal. Reaction time? Faster than mine. Her movement patterns are wrong, too. Too smooth, too efficient. And when she walks, there's no wasted energy, no unnecessary motion. It's the way a hunting cat moves, economic, precise.
But that's not enough to explain why a Zorn shock trooper angles his body defensively when she walks past, why a Shrike clan fighter watches her with all three eyes, why I, a Takuri apex predator from a world where everything wants to kill you, feel my talons flexing voluntarily when she enters a room. She sits in the back row, silent, seemingly harmless, and every predator in the Galactic Combat Academy tracks her first. Tomorrow is combat assessment day. We'll all be in the arena, including her. I have a feeling we're about to find out why. So Senna Krav, a Veilfear pack hunter from my combat theory class, decided she was going to solve the mystery. Veilfear's social predators, cooperative hunters, and Senna has never met a puzzle she didn't want to crack open. I'm going to talk to her, Senna announced during morning meal, her crest flaring with determination. That is, I said, stabbing at my protein cube. Why? She's just a student like us. Maybe she's lonely. Maybe she needs pack. I watched Senna across the cafeteria. She was reading something on a datapad, occasionally taking measured bites of her food. Her posture was relaxed, but her head position allowed peripheral vision of the entire room. Go ahead, report back. Senna across the cafeteria with three of her packmates, all confidence and friendly energy. I watched the approach. So did Acrylics at the front table. So did two Vorin near the beverage dispensers. So did a Shrike clan observer on the upper level. Everyone was watching. Zana reached the table, her translator picking up as she spoke. Mind if we sit? Thought you might want some company. Reyna looked up, not quickly, not startled, just a smooth, controlled shift of attention. Her eyes met Senna's, and I saw my friend's crest flatten involuntarily. I'm good, thanks, Reyna said. Her voice was level, calm, with absolutely zero inflection. Not unfriendly, not friendly either, just neutral. You sure? We could show you around, introduce you to people. I know where everything is. Still calm, still watching. Her hands had not moved from their positions, one holding the datapad, one resting on the table, completely non-threatening. So why did Senna's packmates shift their weight backward? Right, well, let me know if you change your mind. Senna trailed off, her translator catching the awkwardness. I'll let you know. Reyna went back to her datapad. Dismissal without rudeness. Conversation over. Zena returned to our table looking unsettled. That was weird. Told you? No, I mean really weird. She didn't blink the entire time, just watched me, all of us, like she was calculating angles or something. Senna's claws tapped against the table surface. Her heartbeat was 60 beats per minute, resting rate. Ours were all elevated. She knew we were predators standing over her, and her heart rate did not change at all. One of her packmates, Drell, added his observation. Did you see her hands? They never tensed. She was completely ready to move, but completely relaxed. That should not be possible. I had noticed something else. When you approached, she clocked every one of you before you spoke, glanced up for maybe half a second, assessed the threat level, and went back to reading. She knew exactly where each of you stood without looking. Gap prey species freeze or flees, Santa said quietly. Predators assess and engage. She assessed, determined you were not worth engaging, and dismissed you. Maybe she's a hybrid predator species, Drell suggested. Hybrid genetics. I pulled up her academy file on my datapad. Public information only, but enough. Human, Earth origin, classified as omnivore, which means they eat both plant and animal matter. One world designation. It just says Class 12 Death World. Everything else is restricted access. Class 12 is... Senna's crest flattened again. That's the same classification as the Von homeworld, Azurkurl Prime. We all looked back at Reyna. She had finished her meal, cleaned her area with methodical precision, and was now stretching her neck muscles. The movement was casual, routine, but I noticed her eyes never stopped moving, scanning, always scanning. A Shrike clan fighter walked past her table, one of the Apex tier students. He gave her a wide berth, not obvious, just a subtle angle adjustment that added maybe 2 feet of distance. She noticed. I saw the corner of her mouth twitch. Not quite a smile, something else. She knows, I said. Knows what? That we're all afraid of her, and she finds it funny. Zena looked at me, then back at Reyna. Combat assessments are tomorrow, yeah? Should be educational. Yeah, I repeated, watching the humans stand and leave the cafeteria. Every predator tracked her exit. Educational is one word for it. The arena smells like adrenaline and poor life choices. Combat Assessment Day is mandatory for all first-cycle cadets, which means the observation deck is packed with upper-cycle students, instructors, and way too many people with recording devices. The arena floor itself is a 40-meter circle of reinforced composite flooring, sensor grids built in to monitor vitals and detect excessive force. Excessive force at the Galactic Combat Academy. The irony is not lost on anyone. Instructor Vault, a grizzled Krolix veteran with scars across his carapace that tell stories I don't want to hear, stands at the center of the arena. His voice booms through the amplification system. Combat assessment. Evaluate your tactical thinking, physical capability, and threat response under pressure. You will face an opponent of similar weight class. Lethal force is prohibited. Incapacity, the victory condition. Medical teams are standing by. Comforting. The first match is between two Zorn shock troopers. It lasts about 90 seconds and involves a lot of grappling, electrical discharge, and one very unfortunate headbutt that makes the entire observation deck wince in sympathy. The bigger Zorn wins by chokehold.